So first, I'm sure all your fans are gonna be wondering, who are these guys? How did you meet the Electric Docs? First of all,
how did I meet y'all? That's a good question.
You can't remember, man?
I can't remember.
We remember.
Yeah. Right, what is it?
We was at Chef Aki's.
Yeah, we was at Chef Aki's.
Right. We was at Chef Aki's.
All right. Chef Aki had some fire vegan lasagna. And Chef Aki came and said, hey, these my docs. And immediately when I met him, my soul told me, hey, this is the truth. And I only go off like what the soul speak, my inner self. I go into what I can't see, but what I can believe.
Right.
So it's a faith kind of thing. And then when I met him, nobody ever articulated these kind of words and how they put it together. And I think their relationship and how passionate they was, I think the passion is what drew me.
Yeah.
It was nothing else. Because I done heard these stories over and over, but I never heard people talk as passionate about it. So it was from day one. It just felt like I learned more from them than I ever did in school, the internet, anywhere.
Yeah.
Like I literally know doctors.
Right.
And they never told me as much as they know. I probably don't even think they know exactly what they know.
Right.
To be honest.
It's a famous saying actually with professionals that, you probably forget more than you know.
Yeah.
Over your life, over the time you're a professional, you've forgotten more things than you know. But I know what he's like, and you probably give us some information about Dr. Owen, but how have these two influenced your life, your diet, and your habits and things like that?
Definitely how they impacted my life. I had a problem, man. I was just like, damn, I'm tired of being fat. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? So I went to them to like lose weight, but it reversed. It came into health. It was like, yo, it's not about your weight. It's about what you're eating. It's about how you clogging your gut.
Look at that.
Like it's just like when I started, I'm like, okay, now how I get rid of it. But as I was getting rid of my stomach, I was getting rid of toxins and my body just felt different. Like I felt different. I just felt different. I just felt invincible. Some people say, yo, I feel like a kid again. No, I felt actually like I could do anything. I feel like my mind opened up. When I read things, I took it in differently.
Yeah.
Like certain people around me, I couldn't even be around them no more. Not because I was just mad at them, it's my body wouldn't allow me to be around that kind of toxic person.
That's an amazing thing. I know, Doxy, we've all talked about this before in the past with other people. Dr. Amsu, sorry. Briefly, what was the experience in then? Changing the diet and,
First thing, the first thing when you went on because Waka was one of the first people to do our Detox 14, right? But the first question, can I smoke?
Yeah,
can I smoke my weed during this? She was like, hell no. When you understand, no, you ain't smoking no weed.
Yeah, they got me to put up weed. My probation officer couldn't even do it.
Look at that. It's a big one.
The first time, but my probation officer.
Yeah.
Them and my probation officer are the only people in that life.
I remember though, well, I'll share this when your mum and Tammy got on the phone, was like, wait, what you've done to my son? He's just totally changed. He don't want to be around this. He can't be. So I guess what was happening is when you was getting your body healthy, going through the detox, your senses were more heightened.
Yeah.
So you could smell toxicity. You could smell it to where you could taste it and then see it. And that was affecting you. And I remember you going on the phone like, yo, Doc, is this normal? Is this right? And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, wow.
Doc, my breath.
My breath.
My breath was foul.
And then it went, then it changed. And then I think one of the major things I'll say to your viewers is that when you went to perform and you was like, man, I've only had fruit, what do you think? And I said, how do you feel? And you went and you came like maybe 2 or 3 hours later, you called me back up and you was like, that's one of the best performances, the energy that I had.
2 shows and a walkthrough.
Look at that.
On an 11-day detox with no food.
Look at that.
And just watermelon.
And
if someone said that to you before.
Supplements. And he's like, man, eat watermelon if you feel weak. But I didn't even have to eat the watermelon. The fact that I didn't chew.
Yeah.
I was so used to chewing.
Yeah.
That when I ate the watermelon, I was like, all right, yeah, I'm good now. But them supplements was everything.
Yeah. Man. And that's the thing what we're trying to put across is that the human body, once you get it to a healthy state, it will take care of itself. Yeah. The weight will drop off, the bad odors will go, the defecation or the gas when you pass it, all of that smell would disappear. And then the energy and the supplements is what we call electric food. And us being electrical beings, the energy, now the cells have time to rejuvenate and really electrify itself. So all you're going to feel is a boost of energy for you to perform in anything, whether you're performing like Waka Flocka or doing anything in life. You're going to just be at your ultimate. And
I mean, one of the challenges when especially being a celebrity, right? The people around you, if they don't understand what you're doing, so you have to deal with your own demons like, man, this is hard or whatever. But then you got the doubters around you, like, man, is you sure this is good? You sure? You see what I'm saying? Like when your mum, when you got us on the phone with your mum,
Everybody.
the mum was like, he losing all this weight. That's why he came to us, no, mom. He came to us because he
Well,
wanted
we
to
actually
lose
had to
weight.
go to his mum's house, remember?
Right, and the thing is, you know, it's like Tammy, because your second question was, can I have sex?
Yeah.
What do we tell you?
No.
Because when you're detoxing, toxins are coming out of your body. You don't want to be putting your toxins into somebody else. You see what I'm saying? Coming through your sweat, it comes through your
semen,
through your semen, through your blood, whatever. So we told Waka no sex. So Tammy was complaining about, man, you know, his breath, plus I can't have sex with him anyway. So everybody around you, it's like how it affects them, especially if they're worried about you because they don't understand. So that's why, you know, there's people out there, other celebrities that we've worked with, we've told them, when you do the detoxes, do it with your spouse, do it with your children if you can. So everybody's experienced the same thing, especially if you're preparing meals or you're buying food and you're going out and buying, you know, somebody's buying KFC. I'm not saying that you eat KFC.
I eat the French fries.
So people will come around you while you're fasting or doing your detox. They got the French fries. And the smell of them French fries is
it drove you right back. But that's the
right
strength. Like when I was doing my detox, I wanted people around me to eat because it let me know how much I was into it.
Right.
And after my detox, I actually couldn't even keep on weight. Like now, I can't keep on weight. Like right now, I get fat as hell. Right now, I let my body just chill, stop eating as much. My body start just detoxing on its own. It's like I already taught my body what's good and what's bad.
Right.
And then as I eat bad, my body will let me know like the bottom of my foot will hurt.
Right.
It's like, yo, that's your digestion. Like your body will start reminding you of like it's weird as hell. Like it sound fake, but it's real. And meeting y'all was like the turning point for me, from the boy to the man. It's like, okay, this is how men eat. Men worry about the health. Like I don't care about getting a chronic. I got it. I didn't give a shit. But then I met y'all. I just knew I got to detox because you can't push something in to make things come down. You got to eat up to make everything go down.
Right.
And when I learned that with y'all, it just was different.
Excellent. Listen, guys, if you're watching this, obviously, on Waka's Live, it's Electric Docs Live with Dr. Amsu, Dr. Amun, the Electric Docs, and yourself, Mr. Breaks. I'm your host for the show, and of course, Waka Flocka. And we're talking health, we're talking diet, we're talking plant-based, we're talking vegan, we're talking lifestyle changes. So listen, Waka, you were talking about, you know, your experience, and it was actually one of my questions, and it's difficult. You know, you've got people around you, they're eating chicken, they're eating fries, and you know, you're disciplined, right? So you're locking in and keeping yourself focused. But over time, and I'm cheating because I know you've said this before, you're going to fall off. You know, we have cheat meals. We try not to have cheat days, but you may be somewhere where there's no decent food.
Right.
You know, America's got a lot of what we call food deserts. And what's a food desert? A food desert is a place which doesn't have access to quality vegetables, fruits. Most of the food is processed. You're going to get a lot of fried food. A lot of the stores are just selling junk. So it's hard for you to get access to even fresh quality fruit. Food deserts. And I'm only imagining you're touring in some places.
You got to pre-pack.
So you're pre-packing. So let me ask you this. What was it like? You know, did you fall off at all? Did you fall off at any time? And what was it like trying to get back on?
I definitely fell off. But I fell off because I wanted to.
Right.
It wasn't like I was forced to. Like for me, and I tell anybody that's watching this, you got to want it. Detoxing is just like being married to me. You got to want it. As soon as you over it, you're over it. Like it's nothing no one can tell you. Right. There's no feeling. It's nothing. People only interested in what feels good for them. Right. So and that's what it is. And it drew me to a point. I was like, damn, maybe this ain't for me. And then I started eating. I'm like, oh hell no, I gotta go back to detoxing. So what I'm trying to say is, you have to want to do it. It's either you eat healthy or you die sick. It's a harsh reality. It's a harsh reality. I've been through so much in my life, from everything to pass away from poor health. Like that ain't something that just happened to you. That's a choice. Right. You actually put yourself on that path. So for me, being sick, what I want somebody to feel sympathy for me for being sick, it's kind of selfish for me to want you to feel sorry because I'm sick, but it kind of sounds fucked up in the same sense, because you can avoid sickness by not eating sickening things. And if you can't help but to eat these sickening things, detox. If you can't eat a healthy lifestyle, you need to detox more often.
Absolutely.
Right. So let me say this, because great point. Most people plan out their careers like, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna break out, I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna invest money. No one plans for illness.
None.
Right.
Nobody plans to get sick. So they omit diet. They omit lifestyle. Like, all right, I got this money, my career's going good, but am I gonna have the longevity? Am I still gonna be, because rappers are the longest going artists, them and rock stars, and it baffles me with rock stars, because rock stars will look like they're like vampires and shit, the way like zombies, but they're still performing. I don't know what they're doing, and it kind of breaks the code. But with us black people, most for high blood pressure, most for diabetes, where amputation, people have to get their feet cut off,
right.
Blindness, stuff like that. So when it comes to us, again, something what Dr. Amun touched on, eating for our genetics, there's how we process, how black people metabolize foods, specific foods. White people can drink coffee first thing in the morning, can drink milk, eat certain foods, flaxseed, soy, all this stuff, and they're okay. But when we do it, fibroids, black women are number one for fibroids. Black men are number one for prostate cancer. We're number one for colon cancer. We're number one high blood pressure and strokes,
so
and that kind of stuff.
We can't eat the same way everybody else.
We cannot.
It's not about like with these people. That's why I tell people all the time. They're like, yo, man, you see, I'm like, yo, it's not nothing to do with color, bro. It's you can't do that. Right. Don't eat that way. If you do, these are the results. You have, like somebody told me, yo, you got heart attacks in your family, diabetes, it's hereditary. No, it's hereditary if I eat exactly and live their lifestyle.
Exactly.
Now, if I don't live their lifestyle, I would never be in that equation.
I love the content, what you both said. And one of the things you said is that you got to love it like a marriage, like a relationship. Yeah. And that's the thing with us. You know, we love what we do. And we try to, you know, project that onto, we don't even like to say clients or patients. We like to have people as family. And that's, you know what I mean? That's why you've treated us and we've treated you like that. But that's what the key point you just mentioned was vital, was that you gotta love what you want to do. You gotta have a mindset that I want to be healthy. You gotta look at yourself and be honest with yourself. Do I look healthy? Do I feel healthy? Can I just get up, or does it take me 10 minutes to get up? And when are these things here that you start questioning and you're seeing, and before you know it, you know, the years are mounting up, going by just like that. Dr. Amsu said starting content was excellent. A lot of celebrities in your same field and career, they have a vision. I want to get my mum a house because she's been poor, whatever that is beautiful. I want to get my dad this and that. But they don't plan for themselves like, okay, I'm living a fast lifestyle. You know, you can relate to this. You know, I'm bouncing from country to country, touring, shows after shows, night after night, interacting. But then what am I intaking while I'm doing this? Yep. You know, am I drinking the right water? Not water, but am I drinking the right water? And a lot of people might say...
Not a low-density solution.
Right. And a lot of people might say, well, you know, how do you carry this, or how do you prepare for this? And one of the things we try to educate people is that from the smallest things that you can carry or with you, from fruit to certain grains or to certain nuts, that will help you get over that. But I guess without going on so much, one of the main important things is that there's no thought about it. Everyone thinks they're invincible. Everyone thinks they're Superman or Superwoman, and we just say prevention is better than cure. You do not want an illness to creep up on you and bam, it's too late. You know what I mean? You've got it now, and now you're dealing with all this health condition and you're wondering why, and then you get told you got to change all of this habits that your lifestyle involves. Habit reforms nature, so now you got to break that pattern. And like you said, you got to be in love with health. You got to be in love with your detox, your fasting. You got to love what you do just as much as you're passionate about your music.
Well, here's one of the things. As soon as you met us, you started getting us on the phone with all these different people.
Yeah.
You had me on the phone with Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
I'm a big Charlie Sheen fan.
Yeah.
You had me on the phone with Charlie Sheen. You got me on the phone with
Ghostface,
Ghostface. You know what I mean? So it's like you weren't just, all right, these are mine, I'm holding them to myself.
And I don't even know these people like that. It's for me, y'all, I'm just be honest. Like, I did everything for passion.
Right.
I'm a passionate person. Some people look at it as anger. To me, passion is the truth. You can't lie about passion.
Right.
And when I seen y'all was passionate enough, it opens you up to being like, damn, maybe this person need it. Maybe she need it. Maybe they need it. But what people need to realize is stop blaming doctors. Stop blaming the government. Stop blaming white people. Stop blaming black people. Stop blaming Hispanics. Blame your fucking self.
Absolutely. Right. You're responsible for yourself.
What I learned from y'all, that's the biggest thing I learned from y'all. I learned that the only person to blame about your health is you.
Yeah.
Not the person that's selling you pizza. Not fucking the candy stores. Because at the end of the day, they're doing their job.
Right.
They're doing their job. Like they're making a living.
Supply and demand.
Like you should do your job and learn what the hell are you eating.
You know,
right.
Great point, Walker. And again, guys, you're watching Let Your Docs Live, Walker Flocka, Let Your Docs, Dr. Absi, Dr. Amun. And we're trying to feel the comments on your IG. A lot of people are praising you for being a leader and not just a follower, right? And we're talking about some of the personalities that you got in front of the docs before. I know there's a time when you were pushing this vegan thing, right? You got a lot of heat for it.
But I gotta tell you, not to cut you. I never said I act as a vegan.
Right.
I was just a conscious eater, and people start saying I was vegan,
right.
and I watched people monopolize off something that I was passionate of learning, and they ran me away from that because I didn't want to be paid for eating healthy because it's serious. This is not no shit that I want to market. Right. This is fucking serious. Like this is not no joke, my God. Like people. Health is not serious until it impacts your life.
There you go.
Until your legs start hurting.
Right.
Until your back can't move. Until your man don't stand up. Or your brain not going. Until you feeling depressed. No. That means you're on a time ticker now. Now you're fighting information with your life. When you got a head start on it the whole time. So for me, that's what I'm telling people. Like, I stopped eating that way solely because I figured it out. I'm like, okay, this is a great way to eat.
Yeah.
But do I feel comfortable eating that way all the time? No, I don't. I'm not trying to tell you, this is the only way to eat. Right. I can't tell you the only way to eat for yourself, but I could tell you a clean way to eat.
Yeah. Right. I mean, you're a realist, right?
Yeah.
You're real. And I just jumping on back, and you're on the right point here. And I was going to ask about your friends, colleagues, whether rappers, singers, actors, whatever else. I'm sure some of them would have, hey, I heard you're on this new lifestyle. What's it doing for you? Then a lot of rappers and people started coming out saying they were vegan and they were on a plant-based lifestyle. How do you feel you made an impact to the rest of the community? Because we need that community to help educate the kids and so on. How do you feel you made that impact to the rest of the other rappers, other personalities and so on?
I ain't gonna lie, Mike. I didn't even know I made an impact.
Wow.
People start asking questions.
Right.
And then one person was like, yo, bro, nobody ever said they was vegan until you did it.
Right.
He actually looked it up for me. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. I was like, what's the point? He said, the point is, Walker, that shit was genius. A fan told me this. Like a guy that walked up on me and was like, yo, bro, look at my old picture. Like this guy was big as shit. He big. Until now he's healthy as hell. He's different. He's like, I can smell better. I can see better. I can fuck better. Yo, I'm happy. He was loud as fuck, and I'm in the airport.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But it wasn't a time to be embarrassed. It was a time for me to embrace what he was telling me and be like, damn, okay. So my journey was his experience.
Look at that.
And I started realizing that I can't do things to market. I gotta do things that's real. And it was dope. It was just fucking dope, man.
And that's the thing is that people meet me and Amun, and they think we've been vegan since we were born or some shit like that.
Yeah, you would think.
It's like we grew up eating KFC.
Marsden,
we was going from KFC to McDonald's to Burger King, kebab shop, eating meat and all kinds of stuff. But as we learned information, me studying endocrinology, I realized because we eat food because we need nutrition. Nutrition or nutrients are chemicals. So everything about us is chemical.
Exactly.
When we eat bad foods, they're bad chemicals. They're toxins, bad chemicals. So the whole thing was, as I studied endocrinology and I realized, all right, I need these nutrients in order for my body to operate at its optimum, right? I don't want to ever be in a day where my dick don't get hard if I want it to. Never. I never want to be that guy, right? I don't want to be the guy who I have to run away from some shit and then I can't run more than 20 yards. I'm like, stop keeling over. So I had to make a decision, and thankfully, me and Amon have been police on each other. We've been police.
Right.
What's that you're eating? No, you know what you're eating right there? So when we speak to other people, sometimes we overwhelm people with how we get on them because, you know, we're labeled the food police. You know, that's one of our names, the food police, because we get on people all the time about you shouldn't be eating that. But we tell them why. But we can be bullies. We bully people sometimes.
I mean, we bullied you a little bit, Walker. I remember.
Yeah, vegans are bullies, man. They are fucking bullies. Why you eating that? What you doing? Man, shut up.
I mean, this is the thing.
Shit too.
We're not vegans who, you know what, don't mess with the cow because I'm wearing leather shoes. I wear leather.
Right.
Right? We're not, because the real term, right? The real term for vegan, right, as we found out, is you don't have any kind of animal products.
Right.
You don't eat animal.
You don't wear animal products.
I'm wearing
That's impossible.
Fur, you know? I wear the fur. I wear the leather. I wear all that shit. So we don't like the term vegan either.
No,
we told
say
you that.
electric.
You in fact, you told us that. I don't like the term vegan.
No,
We don't like it either.
Because it categorizes you.
Right.
It's like, hey, I'm vegan. Hey, I'm pescatarian. Right. Hey, I'm this.
I'm plant-based now.
You know, what's going to be for vegan is plant-based.
We were on our way to a meeting one time.
There's no other.
Remember Peter, the woman from Peter? She came up and was all over Walker like, yeah, thank you, you know. And he was like, who are you? And she goes, I'm from Peter. You know, the animal protection, PETA, whatever they call it, right? PETA.
I love Peter. That's my dog.
No, but the point is, because you said you're vegan, immediately the animal lovers associated with you. Like,
yeah, I love animals. Now you know what it is, Doc? I love animals. Like, for me personally, and my wife told me that she was like, how the hell you can't punch a dog, but you can punch a person? You ain't like that. I'm like, baby, that's different. Like, I'm just a different. Like, I pose nude for Peter because I don't like furs. To me, I don't like that shit. Like, I'm just a passionate person. I like showing people how far I can go on shit that I can say because I want you to go that far too. And go back to eating vegan. It made me appreciate shrimps, fried shrimp more. It made me appreciate eating chicken. It made me appreciate eating shrimp steaks. And I say this because of this. Because now I didn't want to indulge in chicken every day. It became a special holiday to eat it. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not, and that's the problem with these eaters, because they eat this shit every day.
They don't do
that.
They don't give their gut a chance to break it down, to understand it. They don't.
And it's a good point. Again, you made an excellent point. If you go back into, 100 or maybe 150 years ago, where people were eating a lot more stews and soups, right? You see in these movies and that Robin Hood and things like that. And it was a celebration, like a special occasion, whether it's a Thanksgiving or Christmas, where they would say, right, they'll go and get a turkey or a chicken. And they might only eat that meat once or twice for the whole year.
Yeah.
And if it's not by any coincidence that if you look at the longevity of people, they lived longer, they were more healthier, there was less cases of arthritis, diabetes, cancer.
Because you're blocking things in your body.
So it's a thing that Dr. Amsu just said, we're granddads. I'm a grandfather, he's a grandfather, and I want to have that energy and strength to run around and play with my grandchildren and even their grandchildren. And it's possible by just eating right. Your food is your medicine. We can't stress enough. Your food is your medicine, okay? It's not these pills that you get at Walgreens or, help me out here, CVS. And then your food, your day-to-day food that you eat, you take out your refrigerator, your cupboards, and you make, that is your medicine. So if you eat junk, which is processed food, high fatty food, refined sugars, that's junk.
But you're gonna
be junk.
When y'all
you're
talk,
gonna become junk.
When y'all talk, being this clean eater, man, you got to investigate.
Absolutely.
To be a vegan, I met people that say I'm vegan. I'm like, how long you been eating like that? I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, 1.5 years now. I'm like, you're not vegan, cool. But being a vegan, you have to eat at least 3 years of that. And I asked her, I'm like, yo, what is that? She said, I'm vegan, but the whole meal was soy.
Right.
That ain't fucking vegan. That's a replacement. That's just as bad as the meat.
Replacing a toxin for a plant-based toxin.
I mean,
and you know what? I thought you was going to say, right, you have to invest. But you have to invest because people are like, oh, that's too pricey. The reason why Walmart and them places make money and people buy the processed foods is because, and even the Happy Meals is because niggas is trying to save that money. It's like, it only costs, I can get a $5 meal or a $2 meal or a $1 meal. I'm getting a shake, a burger, fries. Man, you're gonna give me the money? Because we keep on hearing that from people.
Yeah.
You're gonna give me the money to do. So not only investigate, but invest. You have to invest, because we tell this to all our clients. You are worth it.
Exactly.
You are worth it. So the same way how, you know, we were talking about your Jordans earlier on today, right? We black people love to look good. We love to look good.
We shop bag.
Right?
There's no Adidas coming
and we spend so much money. We spend so much money on our hair, on our clothing, on makeup, on eyelashes, on weaves, and
There's
all
nothing
that.
wrong with that.
No, there's anything wrong with it.
I'm letting the viewers know.
Why are you looking at? Look at the camera when you say makeup. Why are you looking at me?
Just so using my line, using my line of sight.
Look at me and say makeup.
This is why I love. This is why I love. Right here.
Because
I got makeup, weave. This is coconut oil. Coconut oil.
The breaks.
But
Hey, but check this out.
the
But check this
camera's
out. But real talk though, this is a great conversation and real talk. Because whilst you guys were talking, I was thinking about something, and it's really important. You hit on something, Waka. The fusion, right? The sort of convergence of the black diet, right? Because for a long time, vegan diet was what they call white food, right? It was corn and it was, you know,
soy,
all the stuff
tofu.
that wouldn't sell in black neighborhoods.
No, but
now,
black people, we got this. Like I said before, we got this thing of doing shit right, saying it's for white people. Like, stop fucking saying that. Like,
right.
I know white people that's toxic as fuck. Like all of them, and black people. So everybody is the same.
And great. This is kind of where I was going about black people, right? And about eating the right food for you, right? Now, the black diet. The diet that we probably all grew up on. I know you're Caribbean.
Soul food.
You're from New York, man. I know.
Soul
food.
Right.
You know, the Caribbean food.
Caribbean. I don't know about soul food. We know Caribbean.
Caribbean food too.
Well, check this out. Even you know, my parents are African. Do you see what I mean? And people think, oh, Africa, everything's pure in Africa, but they don't realize that Africa was also colonized, right? And when they started to do the cash cropping, they started to make us eat bad food as well. The cud, the hominy, the grits. You know, the back of the pig, the pig's foot, and you know what I mean? It wasn't the quality of meat even. You know what I'm trying to say to you?
So ham hock.
Can we talk about that? Your black diet growing up. Talk to me about that and how hard was it to transition from what you were brought up with and what you loved and what your parents... You know, you go to Christmas dinners now at the house and like, no, I don't want to eat the ham.
I used to hide chicken bones in the wall.
Look at that.
Man, that shit was like a drug, though. You know what it is for me with food? I had a choice, right? I got famous to just go around the world, eat what I want, and make people around me happy. I didn't get famous to have a big-ass house, a lot of fucking cars, sleep with different girls. Like, I'm not capping or nothing. Like, I'm doing exactly what I love. Like, I wasn't a rapper to get money to go invest. Like, just because I got money don't mean I got to invest. No, I got to find out how this money can cycle. Then I can invest what I'm cycling. See, it's a process to it. So me growing up eating, I was just eating shit. Like, nobody was explaining it to me. They was just cooking it. So I grew up as a Gemini. I like to know what I'm doing so I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Sure.
So when I started eating the food, of course I grew up eating fried chicken, yams. I love this shit. By the way, I love macaroni and cheese. I can argue all day. But I'm sorry, I love it. I fucking love putting hot sauce on shit. But guess what, though, y'all? When I figured out what these things can do if you consistently eat them every day, 3 times a day, 4 times a day, 2 o'clock in the morning, it could clog your arteries. You could have cancer. You could go this. You could do this. It's like, oh, shit. All of that. And you don't think like that because you're a kid and you're just seeing life. So this is why kids don't attach to this, because they don't understand what life is about. Until they start learning life and they be like, yo, you know something? Let me leave the pork alone. Let me just leave the beef alone. Let me leave the chicken alone. You start excluding yourself out of... You pick your poison, basically. You see what I'm saying? But for me, I just wanted to learn. I'm like, oh, what's another way instead of eating this way? And that's why I got into detoxing. I had the 14 detox.
Well, you actually went beyond 14.
Yeah, I did, because I cheated on the 13th day.
Right.
I bit a shrimp, but I never swallowed it. I just wanted to taste.
You did a Clinton on it. You
Yeah,
did
so I
Put the head in.
Yeah, I want an extra 4 days. That
to
shit
make
was,
up for it. Yeah.
oh my God, man. But I bit that shrimp, though. It was different after I started eating food again. I'm like, it ain't the same feeling no more.
Right, look
I start finding out, this is the I'm talking about, y'all, this was the most pinnacle time that I figured out food didn't please me. I was eating, I wasn't full. I was stuffed. Food stuffs you.
Right.
The nutrition shit, it feeds you.
Right.
It's a difference. You start learning, okay, it's like drinking pure water and toxic water.
Yeah.
You start knowing, you're like, holy shit, I ate soul food. It was good as fuck though. But my body shut down because I'm stuffed.
Get the itis.
Now I ate the what they call the vegan route, the healthy. I call my conscious way of eating.
Yeah.
Yo, I woke up. I was like, yo, I'm good. Like I wanted to move around. Yeah. So it was a difference. And the field I work in, I ain't got time to lay down and sit down. I gotta be on point. Right. So I wanted the food that keep me on point.
So MC, you talk about it. Sorry to cut you off. About
it's a good call.
The reason we eat food. You talking about the energy you felt. Why do we eat? Why do we even eat? Because forget about the taste and all the rest of it. But
right. I mean, I said it earlier. The reason we eat is to get nutrients to our cells.
Look at that, yeah.
To get electricity to our cells. We're electric beings. So the nutrients feed the electricity. Every cell in our body is biochemical electric. Everything. So the greater the charge or the more electric we are is the more vibrant we are. So we eat to get nutrients. That's it. We're putting fuel into our bodies. There are trillions of metabolic or we metabolize different substances, different chemicals going off, trillions every second. But one little thing one little toxin can cause a cascade that throws you off.
The whole thing.
So the more, like you were saying, when you started eating healthier and you was detoxing, when you ate something that was bad for you, you felt it like
straight away.
What the fuck?
Eating, when y'all put me on, I actually wanted to know, like, yo, what, like simple, stupid shit, like, yo, what happens in my body when I have to fart?
Right.
Like, what in my body, like, changes? What causes this? Like, I want to know those things. And people we don't understand the quality of eating because we don't understand how the body works.
Right.
See, I be seeing people, like, take Viagra's, and it's like, do you know why your blood not flowing? Because you're not eating right.
Right.
That's it. Like,
but most people don't even know if they have erectile dysfunction, it's because they got heart disease. Right. It's a circulatory issue. They just think something's wrong with their dick. They think, my dick's something wrong with my dick, doc. You know how many times we heard that? It's like, no, your penile artery is clogged because of the cholesterol and we don't like to use the term cholesterol because it leads people, but the plaque, the atherosclerosis that's taking place. So that's what we do. We try to educate people on what's going on in your body. So we ain't just going to tell you, nah, take this. It's like, no, take this to remedy the issue, but this is the root cause of why you have an issue. This is what's going on in your body, and this is how to remedy it in long term. Not just like you said, Viagra. Somebody going to go and take a Viagra, then stay up for 12 hours, and now you can't even think straight because all your blood is...
I tried it one time. I ain't gonna lie. Man, I'm talking I was hard for no goddamn reason. I'm talking, man, I was scared.
You pack it in,
you tried to, he's like, yo,
you guys, you thought it was Skittles.
I tried to work Tammy one night. I tried to I'm finna get your ass major pain tonight. Man, that motherfucker still hard. She won't go to sleep. I'm like, look at myself like, yo, this shit gotta stop.
Right.
And that's bad. You know
what I'm saying? It's not good.
Now, when I ate vegan, that shit was like a natural, like, you see what I'm saying? But it makes you more attractive too, because technically attractions is chemicals letting off.
There you go. Thank you.
So
it's pheromones.
Hey, let the professionals give the direct word.
And that's the thing. When you're healthy and you feel like that, you do have that confidence.
It's
not even being arrogant or egotistical. You just have that confidence because you're healthy, and people feel on that. They pick up on your pheromones. They pick on your energy and the way you present yourself. Every time when we go out and we eat. They're like, what the hell is going on here? Because we are now reconfiguring the menu to suit us. Because
you reconfigure. We don't even order. When we go out, we're like, all right, you figure it out, and then we'll just get
whatever you get.
Right, and because again, like you rightfully said, it's the love, it's the passion, but it's serious. I'm not saying I want to live forever, but the time that I am on this planet, I want to have quality of life. I want to rise to the occasion. I want to have energy to run around with my children and my grandchildren. I want to be able to, just be how I am now for a long duration of time. And if we got that information, what we want to do here as Electric Docs is share it and educate the people. Absolutely. You know, we're not trying to hold it in for ourselves and say we got to go see. We want the whole world, whether it's on the Waka Flocka platform, whether it's on the Electric Docs platform, whether it's on, you know, the.
I could have got paid a lot of money for this if I wanted to.
You know,
I could have leaded people on.
And that's what I'm saying. You're shown that side of you where it's like, you know, it's about the care and the passion. It's not about the dollar bill. You know what I mean? Because if you got longevity, I'll be quiet.
No, you're doing good. I was just going to give cueing you. So jumping in off that and Waka, you know, I think a lot of this is leading to the same place, right? We've talked about your journey, your experiences with, you know, plant-based life, meeting the docs. You know, we could go on for days, and I think we're going to have to do some follow-on interviews as well, because, you know, Waka's got a whole bunch of science and a bunch of stories he's going to share with you guys on that. But check this out. A lot of conversations been around detoxing, right? Whether you're doing an actual detox or the food you eat and being your medicine and detoxing you. You talk about your experiences. You're one of the first to do our Detox 14.
Absolutely.
So I know you've talked about your experience there, but let me ask, you know, talking to your fans, because I'm only assuming your fan base is broad, right? You've got kids, 15-year-olds in China, and you've got some, you know, grown folks over here in Chicago and places. How would you make detoxing cool? How would you make it, you know, I don't want to use, you know, too many cool words. I'm just going to age myself. But, you know, talk to your folks, man. What would you say to them? Look,
you know what, though? I got this thing. Everything don't need to be cool.
Right. Okay.
Everything don't need to be cool. For kids, can't blame a kid. That's their first time being 7. I think it's the people they look up to. I think it's the people that's in their house. And some kids don't have parents in their environment, so they go back into the people they look up to. I think adults need to take more accountability for adult things and stop letting these kids do adult things and be into adult topics and seeing adult sceneries. And like kids today ain't kids. They're being stripped from it. Like I'm actually seeing, like, even I got a 14-year-old daughter that do poses like a woman that's 22. I'm not saying she's wrong, but she don't understand, and she realize that when she becomes an adult, I strip myself from being a kid. That's the thing. And to make it cool is be a kid. Kids don't make mistakes. I think kids are being told they making too many mistakes. Kids do not make mistakes. They're fucking kids. So it's a difference. To make this cool is I'm a cool person. This is how I eat. That's how it's cool.
Right.
That's the only way you can make things cool to a kid.
Absolutely.
If kid look up to Dragon Ball Z and Goku is on there eating celery or Goku eating pizza, the kid's going to eat pizza because they don't know what's cool.
So there's a lot of work to be done, right? The whole industry, the TV industry, the magazines, the media, everywhere.
Well, there's a good point you made about let children be children, let kids be kids, right? Because there's a lot of parents who are, I'm not going to hide nothing from my child. They're going to know this. But children, they don't know how to process. Right. Their neurological networks have not fully developed to be able to handle certain information. So it traumatizes the human body. Right. You know, so there are stressors, triggers that adults cannot handle that we're putting onto these children. So they're picking up stuff. Now they have anxiety and depression. Imagine. I remember when I was 7, 8, 9, and 10, I didn't know enough to know how to be depressed.
These kids are dealing with adult problems. They're dealing with adult problems.
And they cannot deal with it. And then they carry that with them through life.
Right.
And now mental illness in the black community is now a thing. It's becoming more. It's becoming more.
But it's a lot of reasons for that. It's deeper than, like, people. We can't take away from the point of why, because a lot of kids don't have access to it. So that's not our journey. Is to talk about it so somebody around us could take that journey and make sure they got access. I think in our community we look at people like Waka, for instance, to do everything. No, we're the people that's getting it first and telling you, yo, pick this journey up. Because it takes all of us to do it.
Right.
Like for my career, I succeeded in my career. I did what I wanted to do. I had number ones, made millions, whatever. But do I want to keep on doing that? No. That's not my story. That is over. So I tell people it's a collective thing, man. You can't keep pushing kids to make shit cool. People want shit to be cool so they can make money. You make money off cool things. Real things is boring. Why? Because it's real.
Right.
That should be fucking cool that you know the truth.
Right, exactly.
You dig what I'm saying? It's reverse. Right. So when you know it's reverse, you actually let it. You just gotta let people grow, man. To me, you just plant seeds. Some seeds don't grow. Meaning, some information you give to people don't hit them, and it would never hit them because that's not their journey yet.
Right.
But everybody gets there, but people need time. That's all it is. And for me, I learned that. I learned not to try to push everything on everybody. I learned that from y'all. I just learned so much shit. I don't point fingers because you point them, you got 3 pointing back.
Right.
And 1 pointing up because you confused. That's the thing about pointing fingers. And then it's just, man, I eat like this because I feel good. I don't eat like this because it's cool.
Right.
I don't eat like this because I did it first. Even though I did it first, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I did it just because it made me feel good. It stopped me from being stressed out. It stopped my depression. It stopped me from hating. It started making me appreciate simple shit like jeans right here that I had for fucking going on 6 years. Like I love this vest I had for 3 years. Like I loved it. And even though I could buy 30, 100 of these shits every day and look fresh. But it made me appreciate simple things, man, because life is simple. You make it complicated.
Yeah.
It's real talk.
Yeah.
Real talk. Real
Like
talk.
you said, so eating is simple, but we complicated. We want fries, pizza, gizzards, slizzards, fucking this, that. We want to eat. It's complicated.
Walker, I'll tell you something. You know, I don't know if it's tragic news, but we're going to segue into something if you don't mind, right? And again, you guys, Electric Docs TV Live, we're here with Waka Flocka on his live. Electric Docs, Dr. Amsu, Dr. Amun, yourself, Mr. Breaks, the interviewer. I'm the host of the show. And, you know, Waka's given us a lot of insight here. I want to bring something up recently, and it's everything segues, right? Talking about the food, talking about the habits, you know, all the delicious food, right? We just came back from Louisiana. We went there, in fact, my birthday weekend. We went, you know,
They got alligator nuggets.
Oh, bro, let me tell you something. Out there in Louisiana, you know, the etouffee, everything's alligator. This seasoning, the sauces, I mean, that is a food place. New Orleans, Baton Rouge. New Orleans is about the food. Check this out, though. Docs, New Orleans has some of the highest rates of diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, cancers. Now, here's my segue. And it's really unfortunate, right? They are more susceptible to a lot of conditions. And the one they're most susceptible right now is the coronavirus. Now, I want to, you know, talk about that. And the interesting thing, and this is, you know, the reasons we're talking about health and why people should detox and improve their health, and the docs will talk about this, is that it's not just for today, right? It's also like your physical defense.
It's for every day.
It's for every day, right? Forever. And unfortunately, all the good food and the beautiful people down there in Louisiana are now very susceptible to this coronavirus because of so many pre-existing conditions. And by far, all of them are because of their diets, because of the food. Docs, talk to me about this. What are we going to say to the people of Louisiana? And how we're going to, and let's tie this back into the coronavirus.
When we went down there, you know, we did a little segment, you know, because what we noticed when we were down there is how many people, you know, we would see 8 people and 7 out of the 8 people were obese. Just like, all right, there's a real issue, like just from visually looking at everything that was going on. And when we went, then we were trying, you know, obviously we're staying in a hotel, so we had to go out to eat. So when we went out to eat, there wasn't that many options. Like when we're here in Atlanta, I'm really, you know, bless Atlanta. We have a lot.
As bad as it is,
there's a lot of vegan options or, you know, plant-based options. Down there, it was majority seafood. Right. Majority seafood and like catfish. The worst of the seafood. It wasn't like sea bass and the good stuff. It was the bottom feeders, crab and then you had the meats, and obviously.
You know why though, Doc? You know why? Because if we talking our community, right?
Yeah.
What do they market our community with? Lower class.
Lower class, right?
So like Madam T.J. Walker, for instance, the lady that they said created a hot comb. Wrong. She's the first woman in American history to be a millionaire. So what they do is they put the lower class with lower class food.
Right.
So they keep you in that mindset. When I say they, your mind.
Right.
The masses. You see what I'm saying? And what's the masses? At the end of the day, it's you. Blame yourself.
I mean, there is the institutionalized situation that goes on. Like, for instance, we're here in Georgia, we're here in Atlanta, and if you go to South Decatur, you ain't finding a Whole Foods. You ain't finding certain stores. When you know where white people are at by the stores that are in the area. Like, we have to move to Buckhead or something like that. We have to get out of the hood, because in the hood, they're like, well, we ain't gonna sell anything.
But we
They're
don't
not gonna spend the money.
Yo, listen, man. I'm telling you, yo. I actually had to hang around white folks just to see if this shit be real. And I gotta commend them on one thing. Guess what they do?
They write letters.
Boy, they writing.
Right.
But if you fucked up in my neighborhood, but you finna get out because the whole neighborhood go complain about you.
Exactly.
Hey, this whole fucking neighborhood is gonna write about that supermarket because it's shit.
Local government.
So we need to, but it gets again is we don't know who to write.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's another job for our community to take on. Like, who are we pointing fingers at?
And then it's the schooling system, because what's not taught in schools, civics. But people are not taught civics.
Goes back to
you know
us.
what, you can write to your, no, but this is the thing. In private schools, they're taught civics, that if you have an issue, here's who you write to, right? Imagine there's a pothole on your road, and every day you have to swerve around that shit, right? Because you're in Stone Mountain, there's a pothole.
Everybody swerves around it.
Everybody swerves around. No one's gonna write like who's in charge of this shit.
There's
here?
a number in the website, in fact.
Right,
There's just no number.
right. But civics is not taught, and it's so simple to make
Civics?
that.
What's civics?
Civics is civil actions, how we live.
Oh.
You know, people
I just learned that
people
word,
in charge,
Hey, me
people in charge, ordinances and stuff like that. You
How to
know,
deal with municipalities
how you deal with cities, municipalities,
That's
counties.
conscious. See, it's back to consciously.
Right.
You
So,
conscious
but
of it.
in schools, they're not. When you go to school, you're supposed to be taught how to survive. How do I live? Most people don't know who's in charge of their school. They don't know.
Who's the principal? Who's the superintendent?
Right. Black
Like,
people don't like to go to
meetings,
town hall meetings.
meetings,
Go to the parent teacher meetings.
nah, but I gotta be like the people, man. This is why I used to argue out from day one. It ain't that black people don't like it. We're too busy surviving.
There's
You
that
see what
too.
I'm saying?
There's that
Our
too.
biggest job in black community is survival.
Right. Absolutely.
But this is the reason why we're always trying to hang on with survival, is that we don't get the education
That's
in the
what-
first
thank you.
place.
That gives the
that,
mentality.
you know what? This is your local councillor, because most niggas in the hood don't want to vote, for instance. They don't want to, because politicians, you have to buy a politician. You basically have to bribe somebody to do here's what we want.
Right.
That's your politician, is the guy that we've bought who represents us.
But that's the
we don't
voices.
understand that.
Nobody can represent the voiceless. That's what I'm telling you. And it goes back to us and our etiquettes in our hood is, that's like snitching. Oh, you don't trust.
Right.
Nigga, I'm not telling you what you're doing. I'm telling you what I won't accept.
Right.
I'm not
That's a
pointing.
big difference.
It's a difference. Like, people don't understand that. Like, yo, I'm not. Who am I to be like, yo, Dr. Amun over there with a weed house? I don't give a fuck about his weed house. Snitches get stitches, regardless. I
Right.
don't care. That's our model. So I'm
He has
just.
got a weed house,
Yo, dog. Yeah,
Pure
I hate those.
CBD oil.
Yeah,
Pure
but I'm
CBD
not
oil.
with the snitching, but I just don't go tolerate it. My God, you know, I'm gonna stop your hustle, but guess
Right.
what, my nigga, you're tearing this shit down.
Right.
So if you gonna sell weed, get what, bro? Stop letting niggas around here throw butts on the floor. Stop letting people kill each other.
Right.
If you gonna be that person, be that nigga all the way. Run the neighborhood.
Right.
So what we're talking about here is social responsibility, and you know, Dr. Hampton was talking about the civics. We need to learn civics. Maybe not every single person in your family, but we nominate people. People take that. You know, if someone's studying physics or politics, don't run them down. Somebody wants to go to college, don't run them down. When I grew up, if somebody went to college, they'd laugh at them. When I went to college, they used to make fun of me because I had a briefcase.
The briefcase, bro.
I remember I shouldn't have bought the briefcase.
The rock
The undercover bag.
Back in the 80s, when you went to college, you had to have a briefcase and a Filofax. You know what I'm trying to say to you?
Yeah.
Before the Mercury phone came out. But we have to stop stigmatizing people that want to achieve and want to learn those sort of things. So that our social responsibility, because you made a very good point, and it does segue into health as well, is that if there's something bad happening in your neighborhood, because the person doing it is black, do we stand back and let it happen?
Right.
Because it's something that we've
Man,
appropriated
everybody
culturally.
doing legal shit. After hanging with all these coaches, I don't hang with white, black, Asian, Hispanic, bro. Everybody do the same shit.
Yeah.
They just make us make shit look cool. Everybody, I'm not jumping off something like homosexuality. Everybody was doing that shit, but they put it in our community to make it cool, to market it. If they want Jordans to come out, they're gonna make black people wear it. If they want shirts to come out, they're gonna make black people wear it. If they want, because we know to make shit go back to what you say. Look cool, because all we think about is being fucking cool.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's the way of life, because that's happiness. That falls in the subject of being happy. There's nothing wrong with it, but everything don't gotta be fucking cool.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
And that, you know, that leads into peer pressure. And I really appreciate that. And the reason I was asking that is, you know, really trying to appeal to the younger people, how to engage them, to start thinking about their health, to start thinking about their finances. Because I tell you something, the electric doctor will tell you is that you know, a lot of people that have health conditions, when you sit down with them, we do consultations, you have a conversation. Something's led to their health condition. All right, we know it's the nutrition, we know it's the bad diet,
Right.
the stress, right? Where's stress coming from? Financial stress, relationship stress,
yep.
right? Stress from work, the community. Just listen to all the negative things on the news. You know.
I think stress wouldn't exist if poverty didn't.
Well, thank you very much. So it really is holistic. So I'm talking about the social responsibility. I think all of us, and you know, I think what we want to commend you for as well is that being socially responsible. You just don't put out rap music, look cool and bounce. When the VC stops, all right, let's have a real talk, guys. I mean, what are you eating? What are you drinking? What are you putting into your body?
Right.
What are you saying to the women in your family? What are you saying to the boys in your family? How are we nurturing our children, our communities? Because think about this. We talk about this all the time. A lot of women out here suffering from very severe health conditions, fibroids, endometriosis, PCOS. A lot of women, more African-American women, suffer from high blood pressure and so on and so forth, right? And these are all systemic of the things we're talking about. So until we change the mindset in education, we're just going to keep kicking the can down the road, the road, which is why these conversations, Waka, are very, very important. And again, we want to commend you on that. If I don't mind, just tying back in again, a lot of people are asking about the lockdown, right? Coronavirus. What's your view on the coronavirus and the time we're living in now, lockdown or otherwise?
To be honest, it's touchy.
Right.
So my views could be disrespectful than somebody else.
No, be real.
My recommendation to anybody is slow down on eating acidic shit. If you know this condition, because I don't want to call it a virus, fungus, nothing, because I really don't know. It's a condition. And when I see what these conditions do, why, if you're sick, right, why eat candy? Why eat meat? Why eat starch?
Why drink alcohol?
Why drink alcohol?
Right.
Some can say, why smoke weed? You see what I'm saying? If you know that this condition attached to all of those, best, why the fuck would you deal with them? Leave it alone.
You know that.
But
go ahead.
If you don't have access to clean stuff, then it's a problem. So it goes back to what y'all say. Detox 14. This condition forced me to detox.
There you go.
That's all. All y'all gotta do is keep your. And if you have to detox, guess what? If you can't detox, you're addicted to food.
Right.
That's if people that can't detox is one indication to yourself like, yo, I'm actually addicted to food because I detoxed for 17 days. I'm telling you, I didn't miss a fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Everything about me worked, if not even better. So I learned that I don't have to eat food every day to live.
Yeah.
And I think that's a key point. What was funny is with this coronavirus, you know, we don't know all the details about the virus, but we can say it attacks the respiratory system, you know, the lungs and everything. And what is amazing with this isolation is that a lot of people are doing videos and they're smoking or they're doing hookah and that, and all of this compromises not just your immune system, but your respiratory system. So again, why would I eat? Why would I practice? Why would I participate in things that could possibly make me more acceptable catching and contracting the virus? Wouldn't I want to turn away and say, well, do I exercise more? Do I drink some more
just
water?
Slow down.
You know,
don't stop. Just,
and you know what?
Slow it.
And
all
I'll tell
the
you
way
something.
Down,
and this might sound crazy when I say this. You people might stop following me or follow me more. This whole pandemic with coronavirus, right? And the good thing I've seen out of it, if there is any good out of it, the planet or humanity needed to slow down. They did. People needed, we were burning ourselves out.
We call it a detox, right?
Right.
The planet.
The planet was the detox, right? Because the planet had to detox because the social media, everything wanted to be speed, speed, speed. If I touch the button, I want this music. If I touch this button, it's download. If I touch, you know, and it was just going, and everyone was just looking at each other a certain way, not taking time or consideration with family, with loved ones, etc. Everyone was on 10. Now this corona pandemic has hit the world. Everybody's like, I've had to like, hey, what's up, man? When is the last time we had a conversation? You see what I'm saying?
There's a lot of that going on.
People have had to interact with family members, with neighbors, you know, with people that they just walk by, they didn't give the time of day to. So the planet, you know, I know there's a lot of government conspiracies and things like that out there. And,
that's
you know,
throwing you away from the real point.
Right, but the real thing was, you know, I sat down and I looked on the streets of Atlanta and everything, and I was like, yo, It's peaceful. It's quiet. Everyone had to slow down. And sometimes nature has a way
of
balancing things out and letting things, and everyone can say, well, it's the government, is this, is that, but sometimes nature has a way of saying, you know what, I'm going to step in and show that I'm more powerful than all of you all, you know, because with all the viruses that's ever came out, all the pathogens that ever come out, you have the virologists coming within weeks and months, you know, they get someone who has host the virus, they pattern it to get a vaccine so they know the strings and everything else. They've had so many people that has recovered from the coronavirus within 72 hours, but they're still no closer of coming out with a vaccine or patting anything off. They're still saying there's something still about this virus that is, you know, they can't put the finger on and nail it down. And that's why there's so much fear. And I'm just looking and saying, well, we needed to slow down. And as humanity, we needed, whether you're black, white, green, or yellow, we needed to slow down for a while.
It can't live in an alkaline state.
You know what I mean? We needed to slow down.
Viruses cannot live in an alkaline state, regardless. But it can, in a way, right?
Right.
I don't know. I'm talking like
because,
people.
You know, this is the funny thing. Viruses actually find it hard to survive more in an acidic than an alkaline state. All right? Because all of this alkalinity and alkaline and acidic thing, you know, I think, again, it's just been blown out of context, you know, and we can go hours and hours about it. And that's one of the things when we first met, one of the first questions was like, when you say electric, you guys know Sebi? Yeah. And we was fortunate to actually meet the great Dr. Sebi and sit down and have many years of studying with him. But I believe if Dr. Sebi was still alive and present now, a lot of his philosophies and the way he taught about alkalinity and I said it would have changed.
Well, what it is that you have to try to, it's like we go on different platforms to talk about health and conditions and remedies and all that. And you have to try to make things as lay as possible.
Right.
Else you're going to lose people with words and big words and that kind of thing. So
terminology.
In order for people to get a grasp on
we
things.
We need Ebonic terms.
Sebi spoke about alkalinity and acidity, and it was vague. It was being lay. It was just giving you a basic thing. But most people take basic things and run with it like this is the maxim, this is the way it is for everything, right? So you have things like vitamin D, vitamin C, and these are acid types, proteins, and whatever, and then people get into debates over, well, what's a protein and what's this?
I mean,
you know, proteins are not needed, but then it's about
hemoglobin. Is protein real?
Of course, hemoglobin. Your blood is a protein. Yeah, hemoglobin's a protein. So this is the thing: is that when, all right.
But that's when.
Wait, check this out.
Protein's a myth.
Well, no.
And all right, food, so, this food got protein.
What's this? What am I holding up here in front of you?
Your hand.
My hand. That's what we call it in English. It's not that in Indian. So we've given a term to attach to what this is. We call it a hand. So a protein is what scientists called that thing and termed it. So when somebody says proteins don't exist, it's like, you're crazy. Get out of my face. Because now you're dealing with semantics rather than, well, what does it do?
Exactly.
What's the function of that thing? What does it actually do? So let's not get, you know, when people start talking semantics, that's where we walk away from a conversation. Because it's like, well, let's not get caught up in terminologies or, what do you call it, nomenclature.
Right, but you need
let's deal with
acids.
functionality. What does it do? How does it sustain you? What purpose does it serve? And when we get into that, then we can start to understand how the human body works properly. And we won't be caught up in the acid-alkaline situation. No. We won't be caught up in that. We'll be like, well, what's the function of this acid? Because when we digest food, acids are needed.
Exactly.
So if we start saying, no, the body has to be alkaline, it's like, well, if it was totally alkaline, guess, because part of the problem of like women who have bacterial vaginosis, which is a major issue, because we speak to a lot of women, bacterial vaginosis, yeast infections, because their vaginas are not acid enough.
Right.
The pH of the vagina has to be low pH to keep bacteria and microbes and pathogens out. You start to neutralize them. So when it comes to acid and alkaline, it's basic. But when you start dealing with real medicine, real anatomy, real physiology, that's not a thing anymore.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? It's just how Dr. Sebi presented it to, like, all right,
that's what it was.
A plus B